Hello, hello, hello. It's another Tuesday here in the mitten. No, it's not. It's Wednesday. Honestly, you'd think I'd know what day of the week it was, but not. Apparently not. And that's okay. I have got a fun project for you. It is just a whisker early. And so we'll wait just a second for all of you to join in, and we'll get all the gadgets doing what they're meant to be doing, which we love, right? Yeah, you can see what I'm going to play with. Now, a lady last week said that I wasn't centered on camera, and I apologize for that. I was trying to do you more of a close-up, but apparently that doesn't work, so we'll go back to doing it this way, and everybody can do it from a distance. So you get the long view shot. This is what I'm working with. This is what I have. My focus is to give you all the paper piece sizes and give you completed artwork, and as step by step as we go, not necessarily to be centered on the camera screen. But hey, pick a battle, right? Pick a struggle, as my friend Janine and I say to each other. Pick a struggle. Anyway, Violet Dreams is what we're playing with, and I have already created layouts and cards with this, and I thought I'd do another quick and easy card tonight for you. This suite is just so pretty, so pretty. Let me show you some of the embellishments for a start, because you know I all live for the foo-foo la-la, all the ribbons and the gems and all the fun stuff. So this really pretty fresh freesia ribbon, it's just beautiful. Now everything I'm showing you here comes in the suite. Why am I showing you the suite? Because it's discounted, right? All of these things can be purchased separately if you wish, but obviously, why would you not want to save money by getting the whole collection and getting it at a discount, right? Save those pennies and get the most bang for your buck. So yeah, it almost has a stitched edge, this satin ribbon. I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed with it, and it's got a little bit of a stiffness to it, so it holds a bow really well. The other thing in the embellishment line, look at these gorgeous things. So I'm going to come up to the camera, hopefully you can see it. So they come in this beautiful lilac shade, and then a pale pink, and then a creamy colour, a creamy white colour, and they're little gems, floral gems, and then they have a little gem in the centre of each. And I'm not sure if the camera even picks them up and shows them, but they're absolutely glorious. They're so pretty. I have used an entire pack on the artwork that I've played with so far. So yes, I'm loving them. Then there's a stamp set and a set of dies. And the fun thing about these is you can see, I appreciate you. You have violets, you have a large standalone violet, you have a frame, you have a background, these little tiny dots. If I pull it up, here you go. Happy birthday to you. I appreciate you. Sending love and take care. And then you have the grass image. Okay, so these are the stamps. So just to remind you, I know you all know, but I'm just reminding you that you all know, the stamps are actually shown on the outside of the package, slightly smaller than the actual image. So if you look at this frame, the frame is a good ½ an inch bigger each side than it is shown here. So these are shown smaller. So just remember that. If you see an image in the book and you're like, ugh, that's too small, I need it bigger, it's going to be bigger. You're okay. We've got you covered. Okay. So that's the framed violet stamp set, and it has dies to match. You can see it has these dies. It has the images. Okay, and then you have this little stem, you have violets, and then you have the 3 sizes of leaves, which are bonus dies. I always like to think of them as, you know, additional dies, but I always like to think of them as bonus to the stamp set. So what I love about these, they're joined together, so because they're slightly smaller, you're not going to lose them. You can run it through, and then you're going to get 2 flowers straight off the bat. We love that, right? So those are the dies. So this can be used as a standalone die on its own, which I have already used tonight, or you can layer it onto your cardstock, and then you can add your center, hold it down with a little bit of washi tape, and then you get the perfect placement, and it will cut out the center and give you that frame. All right, so that's how those work. All right, let's talk paper. So you can see I've used a lot of the paper, so this is all I have left of this particular sheet. So we have the Secret C with the little tiny white dots. Can you see it? You have to give me some thumbs up if you can. And then we have this purple floral with the very, very fine lines in it, and it's difficult to see, and then the little violets in the center of those little diamond shapes. We have another one that's similar but a larger print in a minute. And then on the back of this one, yes, there's not much left. We have the violets on one side, and you'll know that some of these dies, there is a die on here somewhere, I can find it in a minute, that will fit this die, or that's what happens usually. Now, of course, just to spite me, I can't find it, but it'll be on there somewhere. Okay, so you've got the violets on one side, and then you've got the pink stripe on the other. You have again, there isn't much left. There is purple on the one side, and then blue on the other. That's the reverse of the purple. Okay, so I tried to show them. It's just quicker for me to do it this way. This is the green on one side, and then you have these pretty violets in a slightly larger diamond on that one. And then you have pink on one side, and then here is your sheet that the dies fit. Please hold. Let me find them out. So it's one of these. Where is it? Have I just got it? I've got it layered up wrong. They usually do. I'm not seeing it off the top of my head. Why am I not seeing it off the top of my head? Because I'm trying to look at toomanyimages.com. Well, maybe this particular set doesn't, but they usually do. They usually do. Whatever. Figure it out. Figure it out. They usually do. And I usually use them. You know I do. All right. Anyway, there are also, in this set, there are 2 sheets of dies. So let me find them from over here. These are some of the plain dies. And then there are these tiny little dies. There are, what are they called? Frames. There are leaves. There are flowers, and this little purple one here, this little purpley blue one that I have here, that is the only one I've got of all of the sizes of all of the 3 colours. Yes, I have used flowers for days, but I specifically didn't use these white dies, printed dies, because I wanted to use them on a card, right? So you get 2 complete sheets of that, and you can see it all online. This is an online exclusive, so it's not in print, so if you want to see it, go online. And then the last thing in the paper suite is this paper, and again, I am obsessed with this. You get 4 sheets in a pack. Can you see that sparkly line on it? It is called, hang on, it is called Shimmering Stripes cardstock. And I love it. It has an almost iridescent background and then these glitter stripes, and it doesn't come off on your hands, which is really, really nice. I'm not sure which angle you need to see it at so that you can see all those sparkles in it. I'm hoping that you can actually see that. All right, so we're going to be using it tonight. Of course we are. So you can see where I used that frame from the die set. Hang on, let me pull this back across. Oh, the dog is barking downstairs. You can probably hear it. I'm fighting off a migraine. The dog barking is not helping. So here we go. Here is that frame. And you can see that I've cut it out of the paper. This is the pink stripe paper. And if I hold, I'm going to hold it up, and I'm going to try and hold it really still. So you can see that the stripe actually has a pattern to it. It's like a tiny, tiny little dot within the stripe. So it almost has a cloudy look to it. I'm not sure if it shows up. It's really hard on camera to get it, unless I'm zoomed in super far. It's really difficult to see some of these details. You just have to get the paper and you can see for yourself, right? Okay, so that's what I'm using. And like I said, it has this kind of cloudy feel to it. So what I chose to do was to use some of the watercolor pencils. And I'm using, of all colours, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green and Daffodil Delight, and they come out of the watercolours pencils number 2, okay? Because by using the watercolour pencils, you almost have that texture to them, even if you're going to blend them with a water painter, which I'm going to do. So you get that almost cloudy feel that matches it. Now, I told you that there were brackets and inserts to brackets, and this is one I'm going to use. Here is a frame, or I call it a bracket, but I suppose it's a frame. Here is a frame. I'm actually going to use the inside of it. You can use both pieces, so I'm actually going to use that on this card and save this for another project. All right, so what I'm going to do is I already blocked up the words happy birthday to you, and I'm going to use basic grey, and it's not a colour I often use. I'm not a grey girl. I like blue, I like black. I'm not a grey person, not very often, but for this it works beautifully, and I'm going to keep it at this bottom corner. Straight down, straight up, and you know it dries instantly, right? Okay, I'll clean that in a minute. Okay, so I have my piece of Shimmering Stripes, and you can see I've done some of this work already. I have my Shimmering Stripes cardstock, and it is cut at 4.25 by 5.5, so 4 1/4 by 5.5. So, Yontin ni go kokero go ten go dozo. All right, and we're going to be layering up. I have some of the ribbon, so let's go ahead and attach that already. I'm going to use my glue dots just because it's easier, and they're right here. I had to tidy up. So I may or may not be able to find everything I'm looking for. You stand a 50-50 chance. Actually, Bob hope and no hope, but that's okay. Right, so let's just wrap this ribbon round. Oh, and we have a winner for the giveaway. Do you all remember I was giving away a card last week? Well, the winner is, drum roll please, you can do a drum roll on your table at home, is Cheryl, or Cheryl, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Cheryl, I think. Cheryl Jackson from Indianapolis, Indiana. You won, my friend. You shared my video and you won. So, and you told me you did. I will be sending you a private message. If you're watching this, just DM me your address so I can mail this card to you. And if not, I will send you a message and remind you. All right. So I wanted to wrap my ribbon on before I went any further, because my card base, we're doing this card base this way this time. So it is 4 1/4 by 11. So Yontenigo Kokero Juichi, maybe, scored at 5.5. Go 10 go. All right, so 4.25 by 5.5, scored at 5 1/4, 5.5 even. Okay, can'tthink.com. All right. Right, and I apologise that it's a Wednesday, not a Tuesday, but if you saw my photo, that is my beautiful little grandson. Mama had an appointment, so I was there all day and all night with him. I didn't get back till 1 o'clock this morning. So we played with Bird all day yesterday. So it was a fun day. There's a lot of stomping like dinosaurs going on, because why would you not? That's what minis are good for, right? Stomping like dinosaurs. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put my piece right in the middle. I wanted a quick and easy card. When it is hotter than Hades up in my workroom, we need a quick and easy project, right? But we also need it to be cute, okay? Because sometimes none of us have got time to spend 4.5 hours on a card, right? Okay, so you can see I've already prepped some of my flowers, and I still have 1 flower to go, and I'm going to do that on camera so that you can see. Okay, Flirty Flamingo. So if you can see, and I'm going to try and hold, let's find a piece of dark coloured cardstock so you can see it up close and personal. Right, okay, so if you can, I'm hoping that you can see that when I colour with my pencils, I actually scribble it. I push hard onto a piece of scratch paper so that I have an angle on my pencil. Okay, and that way, and if I turn my piece of paper over, you'll be able to see. That way, when I then colour on that side, I get a really, really soft colour that with more pressure, I can then build up that colour and build up the intensity, okay? So I always like to have a flat edge on the end of my flower. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly colour in all of these flowers because I just need this to dry a little bit because I'm going to add liquid from the water painter. Okay, so you all know I have the colouring abilities of somebody in kindergarten. So this is just how I do it. If you have a better way of doing it, you do what works for you. All right. So, and then I'm going to come back in at the base of the petal and just come in and do some shading. It's giving you some lines. You can follow those lines as you build up the colour if you wish to. For some shading, you can take it further out if you want, and you can see that just by pushing harder on my pencil, it gives you the graduated shade. I'm also going to come in with my yellow, and I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow to the centre of that. And then here's my granny apple green, and again you can see I flat, even though it's been sharpened, it's still got that flat edge on it. And again, very lightly, just colour in those leaves. Okay, and just like I did on the flower, I'm going to come in up the centre and just at the base of that leaf. And then I'm going to just blend this out. And you can see when I hold this leaf and flower up against the ones that I've already done. Oh, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to come in and just go over that line of the stem. All right, so you can see if I hold this up and hold this up, you can see the difference that adding water makes, especially to the pink. You see the difference in colours? Again, I'm not sure if it shows up very well on camera, but there is a definite difference between this is more pink and this is more red. So can you keep it like this? Absolutely you can. You have options. You can also, ooh, look at that one. This one, I've used the Wink of Stella, the clear Wink of Stella to colour it in. So water brush, Wink of Stella, and now it's all sparkly, right? Or you can leave them plain. Right, I'm going to blend this with my water painter because obviously I want it to match the others. So keeping my piece of scratch paper, that's what's important here, because obviously it's going to pick up. So if I show you on here, once you start to blend, even over a light area, there's going to be some colour on your brush, okay? So you just paint it to get rid of that colour. I like to start in my lighter areas and come down into my dark areas so it pulls any colour down onto the darker area. There's no point in doing it on the dark area and going up onto the light because you're just going to drag all that colour up into your light area and it becomes one colour. Not what you want. So I start at the top and then I bring it down and then I wipe. So start at the top, blend it, bring it down and wipe. Now this water painter is pretty darn wet. So we are going to, this is the last flower to go on. And it'll give it a chance to just dry out a bit. But you can see the colour on it. And it's even more marked. And I'm going to just try and do one sweep over my leaf. And all I'm doing is cleaning that brush so that I don't take all of that colour and deposit it back into my light area. I mean, what's the point of doing the graduated technique if you're going to just deposit colour back into it? There, just like that. Isn't that easy? And no, I didn't really go over the yellow bit because you really don't need to. Okay. All right, let's just set that aside just for a second. All right, let's start putting some of this on. Stampin' Dimensionals, of course. Hello, have we met? If it doesn't have ribbon on it, if it doesn't have Stampin' Dimensionals on it, sorry, didn't make it. One in the middle, we don't need saggy artwork. There's enough sag in this world as it is. Okay, and we're going to just center that pretty much on that. Ta-da! Okay, before we go any further, I'm going to tie a bow so that I can attach it, because that will then affect, I can then build it in with my flowers. All right, so we are going to be using 3D foam tape on the back. And can you see, because I've used the water painter on it, can you see as they've dried how the paper has bowed? I'm not mad about that, because now I have some dimension to my flowers that I didn't have before. So I'm going to attach my 3D foam tape in the areas that are flatter and not towards the edge, because I want it to have that lift and whatever it is, dimension. That's the word I'm looking for, Sarah. Okay. So let's have a look. We'll just put it down the center. Yes, ma'am. We can tuck that in underneath. We're going to put this flower over. We might even bring them over the top. So, and I wouldn't be mad about that. The only thing you've got to remember is you've got to keep it within the edge of the card. I was meant to be tying a bow, wasn't I? The ADHD is strong tonight, my friends. All right. I'm hot and I'm hungry and I've got a headache. Oh, the 3 H's. Right. Here we go. Pull it from the back. And that way it tightens your bow without it doing what? Without it unraveling. Okay, so I'm going to be putting in a bow, and I kind of want the bow somewhere up here, but let's see where I'm going with these flowers. So you can see my tiny little pink flowers here. I hope you can. They are itty bitty. If I put them on the white cardstock, you can just see them there. Look. Can you see them? So yes, these are these itty bitty little dies that came on the sheet, and all I did is I did the same technique to them as I did to the larger flowers. I coloured them, used the water painter to blend them, and then left them to dry. And I should have 5. Actually, I should have 6, but one's gone missing. And now that this one is almost dry, this little flower that I just did, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to go boop in the middle of that. And again, boop, 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 boop. And then again, just take any colour off the end of that pen. All right, let's move the scrap paper out of the way. All right, let's build up this little doodad, and then this one I think we'll have coming out here. Yeah, wouldn't hate it. This is the beauty of it. You can just rearrange it. So always put your embellishments and always put your images, place them on the card before you've actually glued them down to make sure you like where they're going to be. Okay? Yeah, we like that. We're not making it look we're not making a hugely difficult card tonight. We're using up all the scraps. That's what we're doing. Don't waste the edges of all of your paper. Now this one, oh no, I think I like that even better. No, I don't. All right, do I like it this way? I think I do. Oh, I still liked it better that way. All right, this is a bit high, so let's just peel that one gently, gently, gently. Sarah Caroline, back up. Ooh, this is the one that's slightly damp. This is not the one that I should have stuck the paper on. There we go. Move it to the bottom. There we go. All right, so we'll put that one down next, and then we'll put this one over the top. Okay, beautiful. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Okay, so we're going to just tuck that one underneath. Make sure we're not covering our words, right? Because that's the important bit. And then I'm actually going to do, we're going to do a piece there. We're actually going to double it up, which is always kind of fun. We're going to do 1 layer here, and then we're going to do 2 layers on the outside. And double stack it, because this is already raised up. So if I put 3D foam tape on here, that means it's 2, so it means it's got to be 2 here as well. Yes? Yes, agree with me. Yes, Sarah. It all makes sense. I try to walk you through it so it explains what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing and the thought process behind it, and then hopefully it makes sense to you all. And you become one with Sarah's brain. It's a scary place to be. All right, let's just move my bow a minute. Now I know I want it there. Ooh, we like it there. Look at that. Okay. And then our little bow is going to come in. Now let's turn it round. Something like that. Yes, glue dots right here. We're almost done. So usually I would go ahead and I would put a stack of gems on it and all of the things, but because we have a very sparkly background and I've added shimmer here and here, there is enough even for Sarah. And I know that was a big statement right there, but there's a lot going on. It doesn't actually need sparkly gems on. Oh, sparkly gems would look fabulous, but even Sarah occasionally has to walk away and say enough is enough. Right, we need to stick this one down, and I think it's going to go there. Right, so 3D foam tape again, right here. Look at me finding all the bits, all the pieces. Right. Has anybody been watching the World Cup? I have never cheered on Scotland so much. The joy that those dudes brought. I'm actually going to put just a bit of adhesive on the end of that flower. I have never had an urge to play the bagpipes so hard after watching the Scotland fans creating joy and mayhem wherever they went. All right, so yes, we're going to use the, I am going to put a little dab behind that as well, but I'm going to use just a tiny drop of the liquid adhesive. Okay, right. I'm not a football fan, but we love the bagpipes. Okay, so here are those little tiny flowers. They might be too much. Stop it, Sarah. Is anything ever too much? No. Yes, actually. I made a card once, and I glittered the entire surface of it. It was a lot. Ooh. Sometimes I need to stand up and look at it from above, and I think that's one of those occasions. Oh no, I don't hate that. I'm not loving this one. Okay, right, that's what we needed to do. Let's move that one over. Let's put a little half one up there. Okay, we like that better. Ugh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why, right? Don't like that one on it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm happy with that. Count, you need the odds. Okay, here we go. I'm going to lift up my flower. I'm going to put a tiny drop and then drop my flower onto it. These are so pretty. Ooh, we don't want to hide our words, remember? That's the whole point of making the card, is to read the words, so you don't want to hide it with your flowers. Look how pretty that is. Bada bing, bada boom. We are finished, and I'm just going to use my tweezers just to push it down into it. There we go. I hope that the camera shows you how pretty and how sparkly this card is, because it is exceedingly sparkly. Just like Mr. Kipling makes exceedingly good cakes, we have an exceedingly sparkly card. And I'm going to just come back in and add just a drop more of the Winkler Stella to the centre of those flowers, because I can. There. All right, let me hold it up again. I think that's such a pretty card. So easy. All die cuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the little ones. This one I cut from paper, and this is just a standard piece of a standard size card front. And I just think it's lovely. I really, really do. So if you've ever thought about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I've been with the company for 2 years now. We have a new sign up going on, and I would love you to be part of my team and come and join it. I have a fabulous team page where we show artwork every single day of the month. Different people sign up, so it means that you get a whole different variety of different artworks from different people, different styles, different papers, different stamp sets and dies, so different projects, and I absolutely love it. We have a great support team and support system in my Legacies of Love team. I am loving being with Stampin' Up! Did I miss Close to My Heart when Close to My Heart closed and I transitioned over? Yes, of course I did. But we've brought so many of the amazing Close to My Heart style products over to Stampin' Up! That we're basically, everything that Close to My Heart had, pretty much we have it. And on top of that, we have dies that match the stamp sets, which I feel, in my opinion, are far superior to the Close to My Heart dies, because you get more of them. You get more dies for your money, which I absolutely love it. So if you create with cards, or you create any paper crafting projects, scrapbooking, card making, and you would like to get your products for a discount and earn additional money on it as well, drop me a DM, drop me a message, and I can point you in for more information. Or you can just go to my website, sarahbatkin.stampinup.net, and you can read all the information there. But I would love to talk to you if you would like to join my team. I'm a platinum team member. I'm scattered throughout multiple states, so that's why we have the Facebook group, basically, so that I can support and we can make friends. I have in-person meetings once a quarter, which is just wonderful. I just had one 2 weeks ago, and we did a strawberries theme, which is why my strawberries and picnic, which is why I have a little bit of gingham, and then the strawberry nails and the daisy nails. So we had strawberry balloons and daisy balloons, and it was so much fun. The next one is going to be the Wild West. That's the theme of my September meeting. So if you would like to learn more, or if you would like to come along to one of my meetings and see what it's all about, you're always invited. So make sure you shoot me a message and I can give you more information, because we would love to have you on board, and I would love to have you as members of my amazing rockin' Legacies of Love team. My team members have been with me for, some of them, over 20 years, and so I love that for us, the camaraderie, the friendships, friends that become family, right? And all of the artwork. That's the theme of my page, is all of the artwork. The more artwork, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So I will see you hopefully next Tuesday, as long as Mimi is not needed for one small child. Hopefully I'll be with you next Tuesday. Have a great week wherever in the world you are watching from. Love you all. Bye.